Are you frightened, child? No need for that. We're only women here. Tell us the truth. No harm will come to you. Olenna Tyrell says this to Sansa Stark in Season 3, Episode 3, while sitting in the gardens of King's Landing. Her voice is gentle, almost grandmotherly, reassuring, safe. Sansa has been lying for minutes, reciting the careful, practiced words she's learned to say about Joffrey, that he's fair and handsome, brave as a lion, kind and just. But Olenna sees through it immediately. She knows Sansa is terrified, she knows the girl is lying, and she knows exactly how to make her tell the truth. We're only women here. With 5 words, Olenna creates a space where Sansa feels safe, where the rigid hierarchies of king and subject, Lannister and Stark, power and helplessness temporarily dissolve, where it's just women talking, and surely that can't be dangerous, can it? Sansa hesitates, then finally breaks. Joffrey did that. He promised he would be merciful, and he cut my father's head off, and he said that was mercy. Then he took me up on the walls and made me look at it. The words pour out, all the trauma Sansa has been holding inside for months, all the horror she's been forced to pretend doesn't exist. Olenna listens, then asks one more question. Speak freely, child. We would never betray your confidence, I swear it. And Sansa says the 3 words that will change the course of Westerosi history. He's a monster. Olenna's response is perfect in its simplicity. Ah, that's a pity. Not shock, not horror, not even surprise, just mild disappointment, like someone has just told her the weather will be unpleasant tomorrow. Because Olenna Tyrell already knew Joffrey was a monster, she didn't need Sansa to tell her. What she needed was confirmation, information, intelligence she could use to make decisions about the future of House Tyrell. And in this one conversation, this seemingly innocent garden chat between women, Olenna Tyrell gathered the exact intelligence she needed to do something extraordinary. Look at this. Over 99% of you watching are not subscribed. If you enjoy these videos, please subscribe and support the channel. It really helps me grow. She decided to kill the King of Westeros. This scene doesn't just reveal information. It's the moment Olenna Tyrell takes control of the Iron Throne without ever sitting on it. The moment she decides the fate of kingdoms with nothing but questions and patience. The moment she proves that the most dangerous person in Westeros isn't the one with the crown or the army or the dragons. It's the old woman in the garden who knows exactly how to make people tell her the truth. The setup, creating safety. Before we examine what Olenna does, let's look at the context. Sansa Stark has spent over a year in King's Landing as a hostage. Her father was executed. Her brother and mother are fighting a war against the Lannisters. She's betrothed to Joffrey, who has tortured, humiliated, and terrorized her repeatedly. She's learned to survive by lying, by saying what people want to hear, by never showing her true feelings, by pretending the monster who beats her is actually a kind and noble king. This is Survival 101 for a hostage. Never give them ammunition, never show weakness, never tell the truth. And Olenna knows this. She knows that if she asks Sansa directly, "Is Joffrey cruel?" Sansa will lie. She'll give the practiced answer. She'll protect herself. So Olenna doesn't ask directly. She creates an environment where the truth feels safe. The scene takes place in a garden, not a throne room, not a formal setting, somewhere peaceful, beautiful, seemingly harmless. Marjorie is there too, young, sympathetic, someone closer to Sansa's age. This makes it feel less like an interrogation and more like a friendly conversation. And Olenna begins with the magic words, "We're only women here." This is brilliant psychology. Olenna is creating a boundary that excludes men, excludes power structures, excludes the dangerous political world. She's suggesting that this conversation exists outside the normal rules, that what's said here is private, safe, confidential. It's women talking, and women's conversations don't matter, right? They're not political, they're not dangerous, they're just gossip, chit-chat, harmless garden talk. Except Olenna is making one of the most important political decisions in Westeros. She's gathering intelligence that will determine whether House Tyrell marries into the royal family or finds another path. She's just disguising it as harmless feminine conversation.
Watch how Olenna asks her questions. She doesn't demand, she doesn't pressure, she just asks. Has this boy mistreated you? Direct, but not accusatory. She's asking about Joffrey's behavior, not commanding Sansa to confess. Sansa immediately deflects. Joffrey, King Joffrey, his grace is very fair and handsome, and as brave as a lion. Perfect, practiced, meaningless praise. The kind of thing Sansa has learned to say reflexively. But Olenna doesn't accept it. She cuts through the bullshit immediately. Yes, all Lannisters are lions, and when a Tyrell farts, it smells like a rose. This is crucial. Olenna is telling Sansa, I don't want the propaganda. I don't want the careful lies. I know you're performing right now, and I'm not buying it. And she does it with humor, with self-deprecating honesty about her own house. She's showing Sansa that she's not some rigid, noble, demanding courtly answers. She's a real person who sees through the performance. Then she asks the real questions. But how kind is he? How clever? Has he a good heart, a gentle hand? Notice what she's doing. She's not asking, is he cruel? She's asking about specific qualities. Kindness, cleverness, gentleness. These are harder to lie about, because Sansa would have to invent specific examples. She'd have to create details, not just recite general praise. And Sansa can't, because there are no examples of Joffrey's kindness or gentleness. There's nothing there. So she stays silent. And that silence tells Olenna everything. The reassurance, breaking down walls. Sansa still hasn't confessed. She's still holding back, still protecting herself with silence instead of lies. So Olenna makes her final move. She gives Sansa explicit permission to tell the truth. Are you frightened, child? No need for that. We're only women here. Tell us the truth. No harm will come to you. Every word is carefully chosen. Frightened, child? Acknowledging Sansa's fear, showing that Olenna understands and isn't judging her for it. No need for that. Creating safety, suggesting the danger Sansa feels isn't real in this moment. We're only women here. Repeating the boundary, reinforcing that this is a protected space. Tell us the truth. Direct permission, even a gentle command. It's okay to stop lying now. No harm will come to you. An explicit promise of protection. Your words won't be used against you. And Sansa, who has been holding everything inside for so long, finally breaks. She tells them about Ned's execution, about Joffrey's cruelty, about being forced to look at her father's head on a spike. And when Olenna gently encourages her, speak freely, child. We would never betray your confidence, I swear it. Sansa says the words she's been unable to say for months. He's a monster. 3 words. Simple, clear, devastating. Olenna has gotten what she came for, confirmation of what she already suspected. And she doesn't react with shock or horror. She just says, mildly, ah, that's a pity. Like someone has just told her the soup is oversalted, like this is a minor inconvenience, not a revelation about the king's depravity. Because to Olenna, it's not shocking. It's just information, data she can use. What Olenna does with the information. Here's where the brilliance of this scene becomes clear, because Olenna doesn't just gather information, she uses it. After this conversation, Olenna knows Joffrey is dangerous. Not just cruel in the casual way many nobles are cruel, but genuinely sadistic and unstable. Marjorie will be at risk.
If House Tyrell marries Marjorie to Joffrey, they're putting their most valuable political asset in the hands of a monster. The Lannister alliance is valuable, but dangerous. Being tied to the Iron Throne through marriage brings power, but also makes House Tyrell vulnerable to Joffrey's instability. Something needs to be done. Joffrey cannot be allowed to rule long-term. He's too dangerous, too erratic, too likely to damage everyone around him. So Olenna makes a decision that will shape the entire future of Westeros. She decides to kill Joffrey. Not immediately, not obviously, but at his own wedding, in front of thousands of witnesses, in a way that will look like accident or someone else's doing. And she executes this plan perfectly. At Joffrey's wedding to Marjorie in Season 4, Episode 2, Joffrey is poisoned. He dies choking, gasping, turning purple while his mother screams and his grandfather watches helplessly. And Olenna walks away clean. No one suspects her. Why would they? She's just an old woman, a grandmother, harmless. Except she just killed the king of Westeros because a garden conversation with Sansa Stark confirmed what she already suspected. Joffrey was too dangerous to live. The confession years later. The true brilliance of Olenna's plan doesn't become clear until Season 7, Episode 3, when Olenna is finally cornered by Jaime Lannister at Highgarden. She's lost. The Tyrell forces are defeated. Jaime has come to oversee her death. And Olenna, knowing she's about to die, makes one final power move. She confesses. Jaime says, "I wanted you to know, Cersei had several ideas about how to kill you. They were all horrible. I overruled her. I thought you deserved better." He offers her poison, a painless death, mercy. Olenna drinks it, and then she looks at Jaime and says, "Tell Cersei, I want her to know it was me." She confesses to killing Joffrey after years of silence, after escaping all suspicion, after letting others take the blame. Tyrion was nearly executed for it. Why? Because Olenna understands something fundamental. Power isn't just about what you do in life, it's about what you leave behind, what people remember, what stories survive you. By confessing, Olenna ensures that Cersei will spend the rest of her life knowing that Olenna Tyrell killed her son, walked free for years, died painlessly, and got the last word. It's the ultimate revenge, the ultimate flex, the ultimate demonstration of who was really in control all along. And it all started with that garden conversation, with, "Are you frightened, child? No need for that. We're only women here." The layers of manipulation. Let's appreciate the full scope of what Olenna accomplished. Layer 1. Information gathering. She got Sansa to confirm Joffrey's nature, giving her the intelligence she needed to make decisions about House Tyrell's future. Layer 2. Building alliance. By showing kindness to Sansa, by protecting her confidence, by treating her with respect, Olenna built a relationship with a Stark. This could have been valuable later if Robb had won the war. Layer 3. Testing Margaery. Margaery was present for this conversation. Olenna was showing her granddaughter how to extract information, how to make people feel safe, how to gather intelligence. This was a teaching moment. Layer 4. Making a decision. Based on Sansa's confirmation, Olenna decided that Joffrey needed to die. She began planning his assassination immediately. Layer 5. Executing perfectly. At the royal wedding, Olenna poisoned Joffrey in plain sight of thousands of witnesses, and no one suspected her. She framed Tyrion, accidentally or intentionally, creating chaos in the Lannister family. Layer 6. Protecting Margaery. By killing Joffrey, Olenna saved Margaery from years of abuse and danger. Margaery instead married Tommen, a much more controllable king. Layer 7. Long-term strategy. Olenna positioned House Tyrell as the power behind the throne, with Margaery as queen to a malleable young king, giving the Tyrells unprecedented influence. Layer 8, the final victory. Even in death, Olenna ensured her legacy by confessing to Cersei, guaranteeing she'd be remembered as the woman who outwitted the Lannisters and got away with regicide. All of this from one garden conversation, from gentle questions asked with grandmotherly concern. Why only women here was a lie. Here's the darkest brilliance of Olenna's manipulation. The safety she offered Sansa was real in the moment, but false in the larger scheme. We're only women here. Tell us the truth. No harm will come to you. Olenna kept her promise. She didn't betray Sansa's confidence directly. She didn't tell anyone what Sansa said. No harm came to Sansa from this conversation. But Olenna used the information to kill the king. She used Sansa's trauma, Sansa's honesty, Sansa's confession as the final piece of evidence she needed to commit regicide. Sansa had no idea. She thought she was just talking to sympathetic women in a garden. She thought she was finally, safely telling someone the truth. And she was. But that truth was being weaponized. This is what makes Olenna so dangerous. She's not lying exactly. She does keep her promises, but she's operating on a level that her targets don't even understand exists. Sansa told the truth in confidence to sympathetic women, which is what happened. Olenna gathered intelligence to decide whether to assassinate the king, which is also what happened. Both things are true, but Sansa only knew about one of them.
The power of perception. Throughout this scene, Olenna is managing multiple perceptions. To Sansa, she's a kind grandmother figure, offering a safe space to confide. To Marjorie, she's teaching her granddaughter how to gather information and read people. To anyone watching, she's just an old woman having garden talk with young girls. To herself, she's a political mastermind gathering intelligence for strategic decisions. All of these are true simultaneously. This is the essence of Olenna's power. She's not pretending to be harmless. She is harmless in that moment, to Sansa specifically, in that garden, during that conversation. But she's also the most dangerous person in King's Landing, because she can gather information that others protect, make decisions others fear to make, and execute plans others can't imagine. And she does it all while looking like a sweet old lady concerned about young people's well-being. Comparing to other players. Let's compare Olenna's approach to other major players. Littlefinger gathers information through spies, bribery, and manipulation. Everyone knows he's dangerous. Everyone watches what they say around him. Varys uses his network of little birds to gather intelligence. His methods are hidden, but his role as spy master is known. Cersei tries to control through threats and violence. People tell her what she wants to hear to survive, not the truth. Tywin commands through authority and fear. People obey him but guard their words carefully. Olenna just asks nicely. She creates safety. She appears harmless, and people tell her everything. This is power that doesn't announce itself, power that hides in plain sight, power that uses gentleness as a weapon more effectively than others use swords. The throne she never sat on. The title of this piece is The Scene Where Olenna Controlled the Throne. But Olenna never sat on the Iron Throne. She never ruled as queen. She was never hand of the king. She held no official position in the royal government. Yet she controlled the throne more completely than many who sat on it. How? By deciding who lives and who dies. By gathering the information that lets her make those decisions. By executing her plans so perfectly that no one even suspects her. Joffrey sat on the Iron Throne, but Olenna decided when his reign would end. Tommen sat on the Iron Throne, but Marjorie, trained by Olenna, controlled his decisions. The Lannisters held the throne in name, but the Tyrells held the real power. And it all started in a garden with a frightened girl and a kind old woman asking gentle questions. Are you frightened, child? No need for that. We're only women here. Tell us the truth. No harm will come to you. 5 sentences that changed everything. Because Sansa told the truth, and Olenna used that truth to kill a king. The final truth. This scene matters because it reveals the most important lesson in Game of Thrones. Power isn't always loud. It's not always violent. It's not always obvious. Sometimes power is an old woman in a garden, asking questions in a grandmotherly voice, gathering information that will let her poison a king at his own wedding. Sometimes power is knowing exactly what to say to make frightened people feel safe enough to tell you their secrets. Sometimes power is understanding that "we're only women here" isn't a limitation, it's an advantage. Because when people think you're harmless, they tell you everything. And when you know everything, you can do anything. Olenna Tyrell proved that you don't need to sit on the Iron Throne to control it. You just need to know how to ask the right questions and what to do with the answers. He's a monster. Ah, that's a pity. 3 words from Sansa. 4 words from Olenna, and the death warrant for a king was signed. In a garden, by only women, who turned out to be the most dangerous people in Westeros.